Go to the poor, you will find God there. Hello, my friends, and welcome to True Heroes. I hope you are all well, no matter where you are in this world. Today we're going to look at the life of St. Vincent de Paul, whose life was one of complete dedication to the poor of all ages, even going so far as to found organizations driven to serve the poor and educate poor children. Let us begin his story. St. Vincent was born in 1576. From his boyhood, he was remarkable for his exceeding charity towards the poor, and as a child, he fed his father's flock. In after years, when advisor of the Queen and oracle of the Church in France, he loved to recount how, in his youth, he also had guarded his father's pigs. But afterwards, he pursued the study of humanities at Da, and of divinity first at Toulouse and then at Saragossa. Having been ordained priest, he took his degree as Bachelor of Theology, but soon after his ordination he was captured by corsairs and carried into Africa. While in captivity, he won his master back to Christ by the help of the Mother of God, and escaped together with him from the land of barbarians, and undertook a journey to the shrines of the apostles. On his return to France, he governed in a most saintly manner the parishes first of Clichy and then of Châtillon. Appointed chaplain general of the galleys of France by the king, his tender charity brought hope into those prisons where hitherto despair had reigned. A mother mourned her imprisoned son once, and Vincent put on his chains and took his place at the oar and gave him to his mother. He continued to work at the oar until he was recognized by the oar driver and released. St. Francis of Sales gave him as superior to his nuns of the Visitation, whom he ruled for 40 years with such prudence as to amply justify the opinion the holy bishop had expressed of him, that Vincent was the most worthy priest he knew. His charity embraced the poor, young and old, provinces desolated by civil war, Christians enslaved by the infidel. The poor man, ignorant and degraded, was to him the image of him who became as, quote, a leper and no man, unquote. Turn the medal, he said, and you then will see Jesus Christ. He went through the streets of Paris at night, seeking the children who were left there to die. Once robbers rushed upon him, thinking he carried a treasure, but when he opened his cloak, they recognized him and his burden, and fell at his feet. His paternal love brought relief to every kind of misfortune. The faithful groaning under the Turkish yoke, destitute children, incorrigible young men, virgins exposed to danger, nuns driven from their monasteries, fallen women, convicts, sick strangers, invalided workmen, even madmen, and innumerable beggars. All these he aided and received with tender charity into his hospital institutions which still exist. When Lorraine, Campania, Picardy, and other districts were devastated by pestilence, famine, and war, he supplied their necessities with open hands. Moreover, with the object of extending the reign of faith and love, he sent evangelical laborers not only into the French provinces, but also into Italy, Poland, Scotland, Ireland, and even to Africa and to the Indies. On the demise of Louis XIII, whom he had assisted on his deathbed, he was made a member of the Council of Conscience by Queen Anne of Austria, mother of Louis XIV. In this capacity, he was most careful that only worthy men should be appointed to ecclesiastical and monastic benefices, and strove to put an end to civil discord and duels, and to the errors then creeping in, which had alarmed him as soon as he knew of their existence. Moreover, he endeavored to enforce upon all a due obedience to the judgments of the Apostolic See. When the work for the foundlings was in danger of failing from want of funds, he assembled the ladies of the Sisters of Charity. So this group was in charge of taking care of the children that St. Vincent found on the streets. He bade his most fervent daughters be present to give the spur to the others. Then he said, quote, Compassion and charity have made you adopt these little creatures as your children. You have been their mothers according to grace, when their own mothers abandoned them. Cease to be their mothers, that you may become their judges. Their life and death are in your hands. I shall now take your votes. It is time to pronounce sentence." Unquote. The tears of the assembly were his only answer, and the work was continued. To him also is due the foundation of the Daughters of the Cross, of Providence, and of St. Genevieve, who are devoted to the education of girls. The Society of St. Vincent, the priests of the mission, and 25,000 Sisters of Charity still comfort the afflicted with the charity of St. Vincent de Paul. Worn out at length by mortification of the body, labors, and old age, on the 27th of September, in the year of salvation, 1660, the 85th of his age, he peacefully fell asleep at Paris at Saint Lazare, the mother house of the Congregation of the Mission. His virtues, merits, and miracles having made his name celebrated, Clement XII enrolled him among the saints, assigning for his annual feast the 17th of July. Leo XIII, at the request of several bishops, declared and appointed this great hero of charity, who has deserved so well of the human race, the peculiar patron before God of all the charitable societies existing throughout the Catholic world, and of all such as may hereafter be established. From the life of St. Vincent, let us learn that the surest way to find God is through suffering, whether that is our own or being compassionate towards others because of theirs. Next time, we will look at the life of St. Jerome Emiliani, who was a Venetian and became the father of poor orphans, and also established an order for the education of children. Until then, God bless you all, my friends. St. Vincent de Paul, pray for us.